We are here at the Hindu crematorium. This is at Walford Colony area, and as we can see, a burning just took place also. A cremation just took place of a body. Now, as we all are aware, in Dimapur town, especially at the railway station, the police always have reports of dead bodies that have been found, and sometimes, most times, these are unidentified or unclaimed dead bodies. And this is a whole process that goes through. There is an investigating officer also that comes and takes over the case. After that, there's paperwork to be done where it will go to the morgue, and then where the forensic expert also will be doing the post-mortem. And now today we are going to see the whole process of what happens, and finally the resting place, the cremation that takes place over here. We'll have a look at the report. We have here Dr. L. Chem Kim Yungan, who is the forensic medicine specialist and also the senior medical officer. He is also taking care of the morgue at District Hospital where he does the tests. And so we're just here to talk about especially the unclaimed, unidentified dead bodies that come in. And he's just going to tell us the procedures and how it is done, sir. Thank you so much, Doctor, for speaking to us. Doctor, can you just tell us the first step once a body comes in, especially unclaimed, unidentified? The police sends you the body?
Actually, once the body is brought to the mortuary, the police will do the inquest report, and they will make dead body challan. After that, they will make a requisition for conducting a postmortem.
So this postmortem that has been done on these unidentified bodies, is it possible to identify them through post-mortem as well, or will it be possible, or do we have this speciality over here in Nagaland?
No, as such, we cannot identify the, unless by seeing the ID marks. We used to know the identification marks. If there is any moles or tattoos, we note down the identification marks if it's there. Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to identify the exact identity of a person.
So, Doctor, how long does it take for you to do the post-mortem to get the result for the cause of death, and the result can kiman time loy after it's come to your office?
As usual, we used to take around 30 to 45 minutes. Okay. For conducting the postmortem.
All right. And what is the major cause of death of these unclaimed, unidentified dead bodies that are found? Usually we have mostly homeless or beggars, or especially our railway station area, Dimapur railway station area. So most of the dead bodies are found in these places. So doctor, can you tell us one of the most cause of death?
It's depending upon the police station. For example, like Common Rural Police Station, GBRS. In that case, we get most of the victims like run over by the train or hit and run by the train. And in cases like others, like unclaimed bodies, like the beggars, they are mostly of a natural death only.
Natural death in a sense, like...
The illness, yeah.
And then what is the next step after you have done the post-mortem? What is the next step after the results are out as well? You will hand over the...
No, actually, if there is no obvious injury on the body, we take the viscera for chemical analysis, which we will hand it over to the police to send to the forensic lab. And sometimes we take the viscera for histopathological examination. Histopathological examination is to examine the organ by the pathologist. This too, the police has to send to the government medical college.
And then once the results are out, doctor, all these bodies that have come to get the post-mortem done, mostly we have noticed, are they non-locals or locals?
Majority of the unclaimed bodies are non-locals.
These are all mostly homeless ones, I would suspect, or is it true, or why do you think they are unclaimed?
Most of the unclaimed bodies are homeless. Actually, we don't know the history from where they are coming. So the concerned IO has to investigate. For us, it's only to conduct a postmortem and not the cause of death. The identity and to identify the identity of the person is the work of the police officers. For us, it's just to conduct a postmortem and not the cause of death.
And so these bodies are kept how long in the mortuary, doctor?
It's depending upon the concerned IO, investigating officers. We have to keep the body for 72 hours before disposal.
Okay. And 72 hours, doctor, do we have a cold storage over here that we can go beyond 72 hours?
As such, we don't have cold storage in our setup.
Okay. Doctor, one last question regarding these unclaimed, unidentified bodies. Do you think that at one point of time, these unidentified, unclaimed bodies, after disposing, a family member will come and because maybe they got the news late, has it happened before that these unclaimed, unidentified bodies have been identified only after disposal?
See, in any case of unidentified body, we used to hand over the sample for DNA to the concerned IO. So if the body is being disposed of, then the claimants, the police has to compare the DNA with the deceased, family members of the deceased. So we used to hand over the sample for DNA analysis to the IO.
That was Dr. L. Chem Kimnyukan. He is the specialist in forensic medicine, and he's the only specialist here in forensics in Dimapur district, and he's also the senior medical officer of the primary health care center in Chumukadima. He just also told us that there's just a very short procedure. It takes just about 45 minutes at the most to conduct a post-mortem and get the result, and then the rest is all done by the investigating officer of the police department, and then after that they will make certain arrangements if ready for disposal. Every month in Dimapur, at least 2 to 3 unidentified dead bodies are reported by the Dimapur police, and this is usually in the railway station areas, and usually they are it is found that they have died due to starvation, and mostly non-locals. And to give us shed some light on this issue, a prevailing issue, that how are there these bodies found and unclaimed and unidentified? We have here the DCP crime of Dimapur police, where she's going to tell us about this issue of unidentified, unclaimed dead bodies. Ma'am, we would like to know firstly, after post-mortem, we receive, the media receive that it has been sent for post-mortem. So what do these post-mortem reveal mostly? What do they reveal?
So one is the unidentified bodies, which we generally get information on. The case gets recorded in the police station under whose jurisdiction that dead body was found. One is narrow ito objete. What we do is that we take it for PM examination. In the process, our investigation point of view is the cause of that. That is, one is not, it's like we assume that maybe out of hunger, out of starvation, that person must have died. But as an investigating agencies, we need to go deep into the matter. So that's the reason why we conduct PM examination, and in the course of that examination, we collect their viscera, which we send it to forensics laboratory to prove the cause of death. Plus, besides that, what we do is that the reason, as you have mentioned, in the local dailies it is published. So basically it is mandatory for the investigating agencies to keep the dead body in the district hospital for 72 hours so that it can be claimed. The family members or the friends can come and claim it, and in the process it can be identified as to who the person is. Yes.
What happens if it is not claimed after 72 hours? What is the next step?
So what happens is that after the lapse of 72 hours, the investigating officer brings to the court, the first-class magistrate, and the first-class magistrate examines the process that we had taken and gives the order approval to dispose of the dead body.
Ma'am, many of these dead bodies are mostly non-locals. More than 95% of the time they're non-local, especially found in the railway station areas. So sometimes the cause of death would be of course hit by a train and all, which is already very clear. And but then again, now for non-locals as well, the unidentified non-locals, what is the step for them? Is it where now ILP has to come and play, or how does the police identify this person before that 72 hours, and if unidentified after 72 hours also, is there a cremation? What is the next step? Does the district administration come into play? Does the DMC come into play, or anything?
After the lapse of 72 hours, the investigating officer, since the order passed by the first-class magistrate to dispose of the dead body, according to the background of, as you've said, most of them are non-locals, so I'm sure cannot be buried like the way we Christians or we locals do. So it is cremated in the crematorium. Yes.
Regardless of whether it's claimed or not by family members or claimants, as the word is, do you think claimants would turn up suddenly, maybe after they're cremated as well? Is there any incidences where this has happened, where claimants have come up a month later or 10 years later, or is it possible?
Of course, that's possible. That's the reason why we go through the process, what needs to be done. And as you have mentioned, and as I've mentioned earlier, the cause of death, the viscera which we collected during the post-mortem examination. Similarly, we take the details if the person is not identified. So we can go for a DNA sequencing of that individual, since it is going to be disposed of. Because Kwan is not, maybe after a month or even after a few years, 5-10 years, maybe we'll be able to solve a missing case. If some family members comes inquiring about the missing of some of their loved ones, we can go back to the unidentified bodies which was disposed of, and as per the medical reports, as per the FSL reports which we have got it collected and recorded. Basing on those, we will be able to solve. And basically, for the family members who turns up after maybe 5-10 years, it'll be they can have sort of a closure also. That chalo, take my the family members or the friend who they had gone missing. Basically, at least they will know that okay, at that particular time on that day, such thing had happened. So that closure we will be able to provide to the victims' families.
এতিয়া আমি খান লওঁতে মাহিন্দা দাস আছে তাই चौकीदार আছে ये तो शमशान घाट ला हिंदू मानुला क्रीमेटोरियम दे तो आप बता सकते कि जब ये ऐसे अनआइडेंटिफाइड जो लावारिस बॉडीज जब आते हैं पुलिस या डीएमसी वगैरह
लोग आते हैं ना,
तो उसमें क्या क्या होता है, थोड़ा प्रोसेस बताइए।
उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है, तेल लेके आते हैं, डेड बॉडी लेके आके डीएमसी लोग आके जला देते हैं, जला के चला जाते हैं ना।
अच्छा।
पुलिस लोग भी आते हैं ना।
तो इस कितना महीने में कितने बार ऐसा केसेस होते
जब वो लोग केस मिल जाने के बाद 4 दिन रख देते हैं, 4 दिन के बाद ना यहाँ पर आ जाते हैं वो लोग।
अच्छा, महीने में ऐसे डेड बॉडीज कितना आता है लावारिस?
महीना में तो बोल देगा आते रहता है जाते रहता है, हिसाब नहीं है। चंदू बाबू जो है ना वहाँ से डेथ सर्टिफिकेट वहाँ से लेते हैं, वो लोग यहाँ पर आ जाते हैं।
और जलाने के बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है, आज क्या करते हैं वो ऐश के साथ?
ऐश के साथ में उधर फेंकना पड़ता है ना, वो जो है ना एक साइड में फेंकना पड़ता है।
और जब जलाते हैं कुछ मतलब प्रेयर या कुछ होता है कि नहीं?
नहीं वो सब कुछ भी नहीं है ना,
ऐसा कुछ प्रेयर कुछ भी नहीं होता।
कुछ भी नहीं होता।
और लेके आते हैं बॉडी और आप कौन जलाता है?
डीएमसी लोग जलाते हैं, डीएमसी लोग।
So, as he has just informed that it is a very short process, it doesn't take long. The DMC and the police comes with the dead body here, and then the DMC burns the body, and the ashes are thrown there, the unidentified, unclaimed bodies. And like he has said, 4 days. That is 72 hours it is kept for family members to claim, or if by chance that the body is identified. And as mentioned also, the doctor, the forensic expert, the specialist of the morgue also, he has also told Nagaland News Network that we don't have a cold storage where we have to store the dead bodies, where we can store. The facility is not there, so the dead bodies start to decompose at a very quick rate and starts to smell. And this is also another question, why the state of Nagaland, and especially in Dimapur, the district hospital does not have a cold storage for dead bodies, so that it can prolong, maybe help in also claiming the body longer than 4 days.